Good morning and welcome to the Petitti Pro Garden Show. Thank you all for getting up early and being with us. We're going to cover so many things today. We have a guest with us again. Pat from Bonide is here.
Hi,
and
Cindy.
So we're excited, and we have some new products to talk about.
We do.
And a lot of things that's happening a little early this year that probably because of the mild winter, this early heat.
That's right.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about how to control a lot of those insects and diseases that we're battling with already.
Right.
And we're going to be talking about all that. We're going to go ahead and get started with the show today by opening up in a word of prayer. Father, we just come before you and we thank you for your grace. We thank you for your goodness. And we just ask you to use this show to reach others for you. Father, just lead us and guide us in everything that we do. And in this gardening industry, it's such a joy to be working with your plants and what you have given us. And Father, we just ask you for your blessings upon our gardens. And we thank you for all that you have done for us. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
Well, if you have questions that you would like us to answer on the show or that you need answered immediately, you can always give me a call at the store at 330-455-5997. You can fax me your questions at 330-455-5998. You can email me your questions, and you can also include a picture with that. And that's Cindy Petitti, that's CindyPetti @gmail.com. Or better yet, come into the store at 5828 Columbus Road and bring me your questions, and we'll get them answered right on the spot. Pat, before the show started, we were talking about a few things that's been, you said that there's been some insects that you've been aware of, and we have had a lot of people coming in with insect issues already. And this is a little early.
It is actually very early.
Right.
I mean, considering it's as early May, usually these things don't happen until middle of June or on. But
Right.
we've had, as you said, a mild winter. We've had this heat in the last few days, and it really has the insects generation. They didn't get over winter kill at all, so they really hatched early and
Right.
the different stages of development, and they start chewing on the plants.
Right. Do you think that some insects will be worse this year than they have been, like Japanese beetles maybe?
I don't know about Japanese beetles, but they're talking certainly. I heard ticks are
Ticks,
absolutely
ticks are terrible.
terrible, and it's an insect that doesn't require just warm weather. In cool weather, they will actually jump on your animals as well as jump on you, and
Right.
people have to be careful about that. And
Right.
there certainly we have controls that would take care of that.
Yeah. The mosquito beater
Mosquito beater, yep, as a repellent.
Is
yep.
a repellent. That's going to be a good one. And
Yep.
another one for ticks?
Another one with ticks would be. There's 8. That is not a synthetic product, but that will take care of ticks on a label. And
Right.
then we have a hose end product called Flea and Tick Killer, which
Right.
is actually a hose end product on your lawn. It's safe for the pets after they go out in there after it dries. And it has a good 4 to 6 week residual. And comes in a granular product, comes in also a hose end.
Right.
And be preventative on this thing. You're going to have less issues, with
Exactly.
your pets as well as yourself.
Right. Definitely.
Yeah.
We've also had some other insect issues.
Oh, yes?
Yes, we have. And so we had talked about the BT and the
Yes.
ready-to-use before. Let's talk a little bit more
Yeah.
about how that product works and the insects that it's labeled for.
Well, Bacillus thuringiensis is a bacterium which actually attacks only the caterpillar stage of insects. So the insects are chewing on leaves before they turn into their moth or their butterfly. And you got to be careful about this. So if you have a butterfly bush and you're attracting butterflies, the worms, the caterpillars will be affected by this BT.
Exactly.
They ingest it on a leaf. You spray it on a leaf. They ingest it. They get a little sick to the stomach, and then they just don't develop into the next stage of development.
Right.
It won't take care of piercing parts, sucking insects or chewing
Right.
insects.
So no thrip. We're not
No
going
thrip,
to
no
have
thrip,
any
but
control with thrip.
What's nice about it, if you have a plant that's being attacked by, undesirable worm-eating larvae, of insects before they turn into their flying, adult.
Adult, right.
That this will protect them. Besides, it won't hurt the bees. So the bees
Exactly.
would pollinate certain flowers, and they're not harmed by this bacterium.
This bacterium. So this is going to be a great one to use on our cabbage lopper caterpillar.
Absolutely.
Yes. So if you have had an issue with that on your kale, your cabbage, your collards, your broccoli, your cauliflower, your kohlrabi, all of those that the cabbage lopper caterpillar seems to attack like crazy, the BT is going to be a fabulous product to use on that.
Absolutely.
And we carry that at the store. We have it in on that ready to use, ready to go and spray right now.
Right.
Sometimes it's not a bad idea to pick that up right as you're getting your plants so that you have it on hand and you don't have to come back in with a leaf and saying, what is chewing on my leaf?
Best to be preventative if you can.
Exactly.
Like that.
Right.
And certainly a lot of things right now we're putting in our vegetable gardens this week and, last week, and people are preparing their soil. And, I always say an ounce of prevention is very much, needed.
And so important in gardening organically.
Oh, absolutely on that.
Yeah, gardening organically especially. Prevention is the way to go. Keep the garden clean, and that's going to really help you. But no matter how clean we keep things and no matter how good of control we have on insects, Pat, people still deal with the bunnies and the deer and the moles and the voles and the chipmunks.
And the groundhogs.
And the groundhogs.
Yeah.
And we have a great deer repellent.
Yeah, we have a couple of good products here. Repels All is a good deer repellent.
Yes.
Repels All has actually 20 different critters on the label.
Yes, armadillos, because we have a big...
In
we always tease
Canton,
about
Ohio, we have an armadillo infestation. I missed that. I better get a news flash out on this one, a news alert.
Exactly, that's right. But it's great for so many of the guys that we do have issues with.
We do, and it's a smell, taste, and also feel. People say, well, how does the repel by feel? Well, if you have a burrowing, critter like a rabbit or goes into his old den, or a groundhog or a chipmunk, he goes in his den. You can spray this around the den area, and it's an irritant. Their whiskers when they get in and out, and it's wintergreen, and it just irritates them, gets on their little whiskers, and they don't go back in the den.
Right.
Taste, certainly you spray it on the plants that are surrounding the garden, and they're nibbling on the grass of the plants. They don't like it. It's bitter tasting to them, and the smell, it's irritant to their nose,
right.
And they just don't like it. It'll go to somebody else's yard.
Right.
It lasts up to 2 months. I always say to keep the effective level, put on every month. If it rains hard, like a real thunderstorm, you better be out there the next week and put it on again, because it will dilute the effectiveness of the product.
Right. And we have found, and we always make the suggestion to our customers, that the liquid, spray is more effective on certain animals than on other animals.
Oh, yeah.
Because we have found that the liquid seems to have no effect on groundhogs.
None. Because they're basically low eaters.
Exactly. So that's when you went to the granular.
Right.
And you know what? It is very good because you sprinkle it down in that hole that they're going in. And if you can find where the other end is, let them get out there and put it in there again. They don't go back in.
There you go.
Yeah. So sometimes it's hard to find that second end,
the exit
hole.
You're
but
right.
If you can find that, you can get it on there. They will get out of there.
Yeah.
So it is a fabulous product. We have been using it. Great for rabbits. Wonderful.
Yeah.
And that seems like rabbit and deer are the two biggest ones that we have. So we recommend spraying it on their plants because it doesn't hurt the plant.
No, it doesn't. It's very safe and very natural ingredients.
Yes. And if you are battling with a deer eating your hostas, you can spray this right on. They might take one bite, but they're not going to take your whole hosta out.
No, they'll come back and they'll smell it again and go, I don't like that.
Yeah,
that
this was
taste
bad.
This is bad. I'll go to somebody else's hosta to smell better. So most of these are behavior deterrent products, and they need to be rotated time and time again.
Right. And we also have another deer repellent.
Yeah, this is Sentinel Deer Repellent System. This is a unique product. This is all organic, natural product. It has 6 little vials in here. Actually, these little vials are they're not shown in this package here, but this actually, you fill half an ounce of this product in these little vials, and you hang them with a twist tie, which comes in a box, about every 3 foot apart, and it'll do a 3 by 2 foot area, and you hang it on the shrub or in a row.
Trees.
Or fruit trees, and you do it, and so it will do a good, 24 feet of hedgerow. what's nice about it, it's an oil-based product, so in the wintertime, when you arborvitaes and things like that, it won't freeze. So where some of the other liquids, you don't want to get out there in January, February, spray that. You hang it in December, and then it lasts for 3 months, and go back in end of March and refill these little vials, about a half an ounce. And there's enough in our package to take care of the deer issue for a whole season for about $15.
Oh, my gosh.
So it's and they come down the road and they start smelling. They don't like to smell as an irritant, and they just move down the road to the backwoods and go munch on something else.
Right. Yeah, we have a lot of folks, because of selling a lot of fruit trees, that really battle with the deer eating on their fruit trees. And so this is a product that I think would be...
It's a nice price product. It's a system in a sense. You can refill it with, every 3 months, and you can have refills on it as well. So you can keep these little canisters, and they're dark green. They blend in with the foliage, so you don't even
notice them.
You don't even notice them
hanging there.
No.
It's not like they're purple or
or yellow.
Hanging out there. Exactly right.
You're right.
Well, so we're also dealing with a lot of, I would call it, nutrition issues.
Okay.
And because if our tomatoes are getting that black spot on the bottom, it's called blossom end rot.
Right.
And Bonide has this great product to help that blossom set so that we don't have that issue.
Oh, yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about that product.
Well, Well, the blossom end rot is caused by lack of calcium in the soil, and also the irregular watering. I mean, people
irregular watering.
This past year, last year, it was like phenomenal. I mean, we sold out of Rot Stop, which is our calcium, a supplement. It was phenomenal because it was so hot and dry. People thought their plants were actually they're probably overwatering them because they're wilting. Well, plants will just wilt to kind of conserve their natural soil, and they were watering every other day in high heat, and what happens a plant is you just leach out the calcium in the soil.
Right.
So you need an extra shot of calcium. My suggestion for your listeners is the fact that they should put hydrated lime, maybe a tablespoon, in the hole when they plant their tomatoes. And again, in about 4 to 6 weeks after that, around a tomato, once it's like that, you're going to add that extra calcium. This will be ready available. So hydrated lime.
Right.
And it will be taken up in a plant and water on a normal basis. Most tomatoes love it dry. They're a dry plant. I mean, they will withstand a dry soil. But people are so concerned about having the first tomato or the biggest tomato.
The biggest tomato, yeah. Can't believe the competitions of that kind of thing.
They got neighbors competition, I'm sure.
Oh, yes, definitely. It's amazing. Yes.
Yeah, and when's your first tomato coming in? You had probably heard about that in February, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. Actually, we have people in February order gallon-sized tomatoes, and they want them by the 1st of April so that they can have the first one. I'm like, where are you going to put this? Oh, we're going to have you keep it until Memorial Day. But we want to make sure that our name is on it by April 1st,
So, if somebody doesn't add the lime, they have a blossom end rot, we have a product called Rot Stop, which it comes in a ready-to-use, comes in a concentrate. You can spray it on the plant. It's like a quick injection of calcium into the plant, and it helps prevent this calcium deficiency, which is triggered with the irregular watering as well as lack of calcium in the plant.
Calcium, right. And we carry both of these products at the store. The ready-to-use is nice and handy.
It is.
And you can, if you have a couple of tomato plants, but if you're one of these people that plant 36, 48, 72 tomato plants, you're going to probably want to buy the concentrate.
Right, and it will last. It will last for a number of years on the shelf on that. And also, we have, the pollinators out there somewhat in certain areas are somewhat limited. We have it called Bee in a Bottle called Blossom Set Spray, which is a hormone which actually helps set the blossom to produce fruit. This is good for your viney crops, certainly your zucchini and, your pumpkins and squash or whatever, and also tomatoes and peppers as well.
Right. So the tomato blossom set is going to
help set the blossom so that they produce fruit.
Okay.
So if you're finding yourself not getting a lot of fruit on your plants, this will give you a little, it's like a bee in a bottle. It's
right.
So you might want
extra pollinator.
Extra pollinator, right. So it helps the plant, produce.
Right.
Fruit.
And we have quite a bit of concern about that.
Oh, yeah.
Every year about this time, people are coming in and they say, last year I had this big, beautiful plant, but I didn't have a lot of tomatoes. The tomato plant was beautiful. So this is going to be the product that we should suggest for them.
Exactly, suggest for them.
And also, when should they use it, too?
Well, they should, when the blossoms, certainly are coming out. I mean, they're just planted now, early here in mid-May or early May. So, I mean, wait when they start flowering, there's a yellow flower on them, and they open up, and this helps. You can spray each one of the blossom, a short squirt, and it will help pollinate that thing. You're going to get better fruiting. And also, I think it's, people tend to put a little too much fertilizer on their tomato plants, too much nitrogen.
Because they're in such a hurry to have that first tomato plant.
You're right.
I tell them all the time, you got to stop pounding that thing with fertilizer.
No, they put the high nitrogen fertilizer is not good for tomatoes. No, they'll get all kind of green growth and no fruit.
Right.
They're limited.
And that's why they'll come in and say, I had an 8-foot tomato plant and I didn't get very many tomatoes. I'm like, well, you're over-fertilizing the thing. I'm sure that's what it is.
Right. And they get out there, they're water soluble, and they're poured over there every week, and they want it to grow fast. They want to produce a lot of tomatoes, and it's a high nitrogen fertilizer, and this is not good for your plants.
Exactly. That's not what it's going to take.
Come to Cindy's, and she'll give you the right fertilizer for your plants.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. So we deal with that quite often. When we are having a wet spell, not always just a wet spell, but a lot of us deal with slugs. Bonite has a really interesting product.
Slug and bug killer.
Yeah.
Iron phosphate and spinosad, which is what the product's in Captain's Jacks.
Exactly.
So, and this is the iron phosphate. Actually, they'll be the slugs and snails will be attracted to this, and they'll eat it, and they'll stop feeding. And in the same relationship with the Captain Jacks in this product, the insects that crawl on the ground, they will be touched by this product, absorbed into their skin. They'll be, they'll eat some of the ground, leaves on the strawberries and also the hostas, and they will stop eating as well.
Right.
Potato beetles, all kind of different critters are on the label that would crawl on top of the ground.
Right. This is a product that I always recommend for strawberries because so many people battle with slugs with their strawberries.
It's a natural product. What's nice about it, you can use it up the same day of harvest.
Right.
For hostas, anybody who has hostas, you better put this on. You put it on early when they just start to come out of the ground. Now they're almost in leaf stage,
right.
But when they start coming up, you can do it then. You will have limited slug damage on your hostas as well. It's an underused product. People think they got an insect, they got to spray an insecticide. This is a natural product. Both are natural products,
right?
So they really don't kill the bug. They just stop them from eating,
right?
And they just stop feeding, and then they just check out.
This is also great. We have a lot of folks that battle with the slugs and even snails in their lettuce, and they do a lot of lettuce. And this is a fabulous product because they can sprinkle it down right when they plant their lettuce.
Absolutely.
And
it lasts a long time.
Yeah.
Little pellets last about a good month and a half, 2 months.
It's amazing how long, even in a rain. I mean, unless your garden is on a slant where it washes it away.
Correct.
It really lasts a long time.
Yeah, it's an economical thing.
Very.
Yeah.
And because so many people battle with the lettuce issue.
Slugs, little worms that eat lettuce slugs.
Yeah. But this really, really helps that a lot. Yeah. But I think that we're going to have some probably disease issues this year.
Oh, yeah.
Again, because of the mild winter.
Yep.
There are diseases that didn't get frozen out.
And spores, with humidity, and the old disease triangle, got to have the right host, you got to have time, you got to have humidity, and you got moisture, and all those things that we have here in Northeast Ohio.
Definitely. And we have a fabulous product for that.
Copper fungicide comes in a number of different forms. Comes in a dust spray, comes in a liquid, and it comes in a concentrate.
Right. And we have them all.
And you got them all.
Just to let you know.
It's a preventative. Most fungicides out there, being inorganic, organic, are preventative. That means you got to apply them before the problem happens.
Right.
That means you got to be ahead of the curve, because once you get them, you're not going to cure them off the leaf of the plant. You're going to be just stopping it, but not curing the leaf of the plant. So the idea is to get these, if you're planting tomatoes or peppers or any type of, you're going to have problems with lilacs, with powdery mildew or phlox or things like that.
Right.
You have certain plants every year you have some disease issues with. Be ahead of the curve by a good 2 weeks. Tomatoes, you should really, after you plant them about a week, 10 days, start spraying this copper on it, prevent the early and late blight, which take out plants in this area of the country.
Right. And even we've noticed some people with powdery mildew on their tomatoes,
Yep.
And so this will take care of that.
Yes, it will.
For sure. Now, what about grapes?
Grapes? Usually grapes, we use like sulfur. Like sulfur is used for grapes, as an early spray, more of a dormant spray, and before they break out of their vines, the green tips, and they start breaking out. You got to spray them early because you kill the spores before they get on the leaves, before the grape starts forming.
Right.
And you're going to eliminate that black rot on grapes.
Exactly.
But I'm not too sure if copper has a grapes on a label, but I know sulfur does.
Sulfur does.
Sulfur
exactly.
does, yes.
And we carry that as well. We're here a little past that time.
Yes, you've been done doing that in April or early March, where you would have been there.
Right.
But as a thought for next year, put that on your calendar as use sulfur as an early
application. Now, if they haven't used it yet, but they do have leaf formation, but of course nothing else. Is it a waste for them to do it, honestly, Pat?
You're not going to get great control.
They're not going to have great control.
I mean, you could put it on, you get some control, Cindy, but you're not going to get something, at this point in time. There might be some inorganic fungicides out there a little bit better. Maybe, funganil we have from Bonide or something like that would work on some of the diseases later, but copper or sulfur would be a little bit softer chemistry. You need to apply early.
Apply early, right. So we brought in the Weed Beater FE.
Yes, the selective organic weed killer.
Exactly.
How'd it go last week?
Very well. It went very well. It came in, and we made a post on Facebook, of course, right away as soon as it came in, and we had people calling and asking us to hold it. Hold me a gallon, hold me a quart.
Right.
And I really wish I would have already ordered more.
Well,
so I'm going to have to place another order, which is such a blessing, But, people really are
conscious. Yeah.
They want to control those weeds, but they don't want
a chemical. Yeah.
They don't want a chemical.
I mean, we're seeing this whole movement certainly out there. People are, with pets and with themselves, with health, and they're looking at alternatives to the chemical sprays. And,
exactly.
Weed Beater FE is going to be a home run. We had a full page ad in USA Today right before Earth Day, and it was a phenomenal ad, and talk about the benefits of Weed Beater FE, and it just sent sales soaring. It was announced,
Yeah.
So, I mean...
That's why it took me 3 weeks to get my product when I ordered it in, because they were all back ordered. Yeah.
Okay.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
But we were so happy when we got it. And that's why we had people waiting, because, after we talked about it,
correct,
at the last show in April,
yes,
people heard about it and was calling in, do you have it? And I said, no, I had said that I was going to order it, and it's not here yet, and it's not here yet. And so as soon as we got it in, people were like, okay, hold it for me. We were making phone calls the day it came in. Okay, it's here. They're like, hold me a gallon, hold me a gallon. No. So it was really good, but it's such a blessing to have it in. And to have a product like this.
Yes, it is. That. I mean, and, Burnout has done very well, too. I mean, our non-selective weed killer with grassy weed killer, and certainly that has, people are a little bit, don't want to spray any of the other glyphosate-type products, so they want something a little more natural, and that product takes care of both the broadleaf weeds and all the green.
Yeah, actually yesterday at the store, we were getting ready because today we're having a farmer's market.
Okay.
The last one for our season is today, and we're having it outside, of course. So I had one of the boys spraying a weed killer, and we walked outside, and I said to Sarah, it's amazing because when we spray weed killer, it smells like cloves.
That's right.
Because we spray burnout. We walked out and I was like, oh, that's right. No. Jacob got done spraying the burnout. It's a wonderful product, and it just kills so fast. Just a wonderful product. So we're very excited.
Well, good.
So the other thing is mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes I think will be a problem this year.
I really believe it too. I swear.
You got bit already?
I have seen mosquitoes out already.
I believe they have been. Actually, I saw them out back in that warm March day, a couple of days of March. I saw, what is flying around here? Look at it, something landed on me. And I said, where did this guy hatch from?
Exactly. So we have some wonderful things from Bonide to control the mosquitoes.
Yeah. We have repellents, and we have a bacillus product called, it's Mosquito Beater Plunks. Plunks, not dunks, but plunks, which are actually water-soluble packets you throw in a pond. It covers 50 square feet of area, or in a bird bath, or in a standing water.
Right.
It's a bacteria, certain bacteria only attacks the larvae of the mosquito larvae.
Right.
So they ingest it and they don't develop into the adult.
Right. And so this is something that they can put in their bird bath.
Safer.
And you don't have to worry about it hurting your birds at all.
Birds, pets, anything, salamanders, whatever, frogs, whatever you have out there. And it is a safe product because it only works on the larvae of the mosquito. And so ultimately they want to get all standing water away and they want to make sure that all their empty containers are out with water. But you have areas that are moist and things like that. Right. And you need to make sure you can treat them water areas with mosquito plunks.
Right.
And then we have, our mosquito beater.
Exactly. We carry that as
granular
that
product
as well,
which is all natural now.
Right.
Has all natural scented products in it that helps the mosquitoes, prevents them from actually coming in area. They sense the smell,
right,
and they stay away for a period of anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks, actually.
Right. And it comes in a granular and also in a hose end,
right,
which is great because you can attach that onto your hose and spray it through your shrubbery,
right,
where they hang out,
right,
moist places around your patio and your deck where you're going to be entertaining. Right. So it's a fabulous product.
Yeah. We've had people who have used this and they went on, I think I mentioned before, they went on when Katrina had their issue of all the hurricanes down in Louisiana. They used it on campfires. Some people brought it down from up north, and people couldn't understand why there was no mosquitoes biting them. It's humid down there. They were out there, right, working, trying to get all the animals that fled from the hurricane and bringing them in. These were volunteers. And the guy just brought down a case of mosquito beater and sprinkled around the fire at night, and they had no mosquito bites.
No mosquitoes,
and
right.
people couldn't believe how well this worked.
Right. Well, we're taking my daughter and I are taking a camp out in July. We're camping our way out west.
Really?
And we're going to camp around the Yellowstone area for about 3 or 4 days, and then camp our way back. And this is going with us.
Okay.
Yes,
jug of mosquito beaters.
We are not going to be eaten up by the mosquitoes.
We'll wait for a testimonial, Cindy.
Exactly. Well, thank you all so much for listening. Remember, stop by the store today for the farmers market from 9 to noon. We're going to be outside, so we'd love all of you to stop out for a wonderful last farmers market at Petitti Garden Center, and we'll be right back here next week on 95.9 at 8 o'clock a.m.